Hey there folks, got a new knife for you. What I have here is a Douglas Knives SAF. SAF stands for short and fat. Very much like moi. The first time I checked out some of Doug's knives, the very first time was actually the New York Custom Knife Show of 2015. That's the cool part about going to a knife show, especially a small knife show. You get to check out some of the new knife makers that you've never heard of, never seen. So you get they get a little bit exposure, and you get a little bit of exposure to their work. And first thing I noticed when I checked out Rob Douglas's table was he had these cool little Necker fixed blades. A little background on Rob. Rob is from Canada. He's a member of the Canadian Forces, their military. He in his career in the Canadian Forces, he did the infantry and he also did airborne regiment. So pretty nice guy, very humble. And when I was checking out his Neckers, I noticed he had a flipper. Now the flipper didn't look anything like this. I'll put the link below to his Instagram. You'll see some of the flippers he had. He had, I believe it was like a G10, but he kind of had like this Anzo pattern, which is not really my style anymore. I mean, yeah, 3 years ago I was into it, but now I wanted something more contoured. At his table, he was asking people to sign up for the folders. He only had the prototypes. Now, the prototypes I checked out on his table were, I mean, very similar in shape, except for the design of the handle was different. It was on washers. This is not. This is on bearing system. I think Rob made a switch to bearings. Yeah. So I flipped his flipper on the table, and it flipped so awesome. And you know, I'm a little bit biased against washers. I don't believe they flip that well. I've been proven wrong several times by the Wieners, but I was so impressed how well it flipped, and it was on, I believe it was on Nylotron washers. And yeah, I signed up. I signed up for it on a ridiculous price point, folks. Ridiculous, $300 for a custom folder. So a couple of weeks went by. Rob reaches out to me, sends me an email. Hey, you still interested in the SAF? I said, yeah, absolutely. Signed up for it. He asked me what the specs, what materials I wanted. You know, I'm a nut for orange, so yeah, I went orange crazy. So this is my SAF that I just received from Rob, and let's go over it. So yeah, beautiful G10. One thing about G10 that I love when you see the grain pattern on it. And you guys see that? I just love that. Like, it looks like wood. I just love that. I didn't ask him for the Anzo or whatever he calls that pattern. I asked him for something contoured and rounded off, and this is exactly what I got. So it's just perfection, just beautiful. I just want to show you the G10 because I just love this orange. He also changed, and I don't know if he's going to change it always to, this is a titanium pocket clip. At the show, he had, I believe it was G10 or carbon fiber pocket clips. And it was a little bit different. It kind of like wrapped like I don't know, like a 90 degree like that. But this one, I kind of like this titanium better. But I just wanted to show you guys that. The steel, and I told you this is on bearings. It's a cage bearing system in the knife. He uses D2 steel. Let me just show you his logo real quick. All right, so Douglas Knives right there, and it is a fat blade. Some of my DM buddies, the standard dudes, shout out to them. They would call this a biscuit. But I'm a fan of the biscuit. As if you guys have been following the channel, you'll know that I kind of like fat blades. I do. And I got some comparison blades to show it to you. But just a beautiful grind on it. He does this light acid stone wash on the blade. And again, the blade is D2 steel. Some of you guys might say, and it does look kind of Medfordish. It's a big, thick stock of D2 steel. Just beautiful work on the blade. Just really excellent work on it. I like this little thumb ramp where when you grip it, your thumb fits comfortably right in there, right into the jimping. It does have a forward choil, and it's a liner lock. Much like my friend Jeff, JPI Knives. as you might be able to see, that Rob puts extra touches to it. He does this engine turning or jeweling, just the little details that just makes it pretty awesome. At the show, he had backspacer. It was a G10 backspacer. On my knife, he put standoffs. Nice flow through design, very clean. Yeah, flips great. Let's show you the lockup. What do you think? A little less than 50%. Beautiful centering. I mean, just very nice work. Very nice work. He started making knives in 2000. He has a passion for making Japanese style blades. If you go to his site, and I'll put the link below, he makes like Japanese fixed blades. They're beautiful with the hamones and all that I love. And he decided to basically go into the folder type knives, and this is his first. No, this might not be his first. I think he did other folders, but he made this SAF for me. For more, I think he only took like an order of 30 at the show. So actually, when you go to the site, I don't even see the folder listed. Maybe he will soon. Best way to get in contact with him is via email. And again, I'll put all the information below. So what do you guys think? SAF, short and fat flipper. All right, let's do some macros on it, and then I'll give you some of my minor critiques, some criticisms, but just beautiful work. I like the pivot that he used. Very nice. And I mean, the work on the G10 is just excellent, just really excellent. I do love that orange. I like that there's only well, it is a liner lock, so this is I was gonna say not too many screws, but I guess the screws are hidden underneath the G10, the two standoffs. Yeah. So, two quick criticisms, which is an easy fix for Rob, and I would guess you guys can figure out right away because I'm a flipper nut. Right away, I would say the flipper definitely deploys well. It fires out nicely, acts as a guard. Bit too long for me. So maybe, I don't know if Rob will change that in the future. Maybe just knock a bit off that flipper. Perfect, like maybe knock it off on an angle where it's more push button, right? So just, I don't know if that will change the flipping. I want to say, I hope not. You know, maybe just knock it down just a little bit. I did notice when it sits in my pocket, right, I wear it on my right side, I did notice that I kind of like bumped it with like whatever else I had in the pocket, and it kind of like popped out. So yeah, I think the flipper tab is a little too long. Also, I think the pocket clip, although very nice and generous titanium, I think it could be maybe a little shorter. Just a bit shorter. But other than that, the knife is perfect, folks. I mean, I can't ask for more. $300. You're getting a full custom-made folder with D2 steel, G10 bearings for $300. There's mid-techs out there that cost more than that. And this is handmade by this gentleman, and very nicely done. I think he's got a bright future ahead of him. I like the design. Some of you guys might not. You know, the standard dudes may not be a fan of the biscuits, as they call it. So I brought out some of my knives that are biscuit-like for comparison. Here is my birch. Right, so you can see the similarities in size, right? They give you guys an idea. If you got to check out, or if you own a birch, check out a birch at a show. Very similar in size and blade width. I also have my Direware Hyper 90. So these are the fat blades. But huge difference in price point, folks. Huge difference. Affordable? Yeah, not so. More money. Let's just say it's more money. Just give you guys an idea. What else? And let's see, something more reasonable in price. My Voxo Dino, another fat blade. Not quite as fat, but give you guys an idea scale-wise, like where this SAF compares with these other knives. So what else I got? I got a bunch of stuff here. Let's see. Always compare what's on my desk. So use this Kershaw Skyline. So you can see the Skyline. Yeah, it's about the same size, just not as fat. All right? Give you guys an idea. Yeah, so what do you guys think? Put in the comments below. What do you guys think of this SAF? Pretty neat. My friend Steve says I'm like a scout for new knife makers. Yeah, I kind of think I am. I kind of like to pride myself in finding new knife makers. And Rob was a gent when I met him at the show. Really nice, very easy to talk to, very accommodating. And apparently pretty talented. I mean, I'm sure he's going to do different things. I mean, he did this quite easily. Yeah. So that's the SAF by Rob Douglas Knives. All right, folks, peace.